Hi, my name is Chris Hoyt, Director of Marketing at Onebridge. Here at Onebridge, I get to work with a lot of people that work with data every day, that know a lot about data, that use it all the time. And one of the things that's been fun for me as a marketer is I get to benefit from all that knowledge. So data, of course, is a problem for any marketer anywhere. We use tons of different applications. Everything we do has a different app that does something different, that collects its own piece of data. You got email marketing software like MailChimp, you got Constant Contact, you got CRMs like Salesforce, you have Pipedrive, you have Insightly, we have things like live chat, we have Google Analytics, we have FormStack, you have SurveyMonkey, you have e-commerce software, you have Shopify, you have PayPal, you have Square. That's not even to mention social media. We got Facebook, we got Twitter, we got LinkedIn. All of those things we need every day for different tools of marketing, for reaching different people. And the biggest challenge is having all those things work together. So when we're trying to figure out how can we make all these things work together, how can we get data captured from all these things, there's two big tools that kind of pop up right now. And there's more competitors, but right now I'm just going to focus on Zapier and Fivetran. And these two tools represent kind of two whole buckets of offerings that say they can help us pull our marketing data together. If you've never dived into either of these tools, or if you use one but not the other, we're going to talk for a minute about the difference between those two and when you should use either. Zapier is the tool most marketers are familiar with. It tends to be promoted more often. Some tools are so used to using it now that, they'll even advertise, hey, if you want to do this, try Zapier. Zapier is a tool that allows you to integrate lots of different things together. It's got pre-written integrations. It'll help you send data from one tool to the other, and it'll help you automate different tasks based on things that happen. I like to think of Zapier as the duct tape of marketing. Anytime you're in a pinch, you have two things and you need them to work together, Zapier helps. Now, the problem with Zapier, though, is that it's like a spider web. It's like the tangle of cables under your desk that you never want to look at. You're sitting here hand stitching all these different tools that we talked about, each one trying to get it to talk to another in hopes of creating a consistent system. But in the end, it still doesn't solve an underlying issue of data. It's not helping you really get all your data from everything into one place to where you can use it. Fivetran, on the other hand, is a focused ETL/ELT tool that stands for extract, transform, load, or extract, load, transform, either way you want to do it. The point is, Fivetran is a tool that helps you take all those marketing tools, especially with social media, which can be very hard to get data out of, and pull all that data out in a raw form so that you can move it to a single location and start having your data work together. The single location we're talking about is usually a data warehouse, something like Snowflake, which we won't get into right now. We have other videos if you want to look at understanding a data warehouse. The point is, when you're trying to figure out which tool you should use, in my opinion, Zapier, like I said, it's good in a pinch because it'll help you take any two, maybe three tools, get them to work together, send data across, have different actions and events trigger. But if you're actually needing to do in-depth connection of your data to get what we call a customer 360, meaning that you have a data story to tell where you can see that you had a customer on LinkedIn, they clicked an ad on LinkedIn, they went to your website, they signed up for a newsletter. After getting a few newsletters, they eventually came back and filled out a contact form. After filling out a contact form, they became a customer. And then being able to tie the end revenue back to the cost it took to get them there. Pulling all that together is something you only do if all your data is in one place. When all your data is in one place, in one system, it makes it so much easier to connect the dots from one piece of data to another. Because while Facebook may give you an email address, they may give you a username, another system, that system's only going to give you an IP address. and a username. And another system may give you a company name, a timestamp, and a name, but no email address and no IP address. So it takes having your data in one place to be able to connect all those pieces together to get a clear customer 360 view that you can then get a full vision of what marketing's working, what isn't, what's the ROI, how are people going through the customer journey. So I hope that helps you understand kind of the difference between Zapier and Fivetran. And to be honest, there are times where you may need them together because Fivetran doesn't have some of that automation built into it. However, since Zapier is focused on automating things that happen between data sources, there's a lot of automation that you can do once your data is all in one place, probably within the tools you already have. If you're relying on Zapier as just an automation tool, probably a good use. But if you're hoping to connect all the dots together in Zapier to force and duct tape and weave together all your data to get where you look at it, you're going to have a really hard time. So we really recommend that if you're trying to get that customer 360 view, you look at Fivetran. Both Zapier and Fivetran pull your data from all these different software packages through their API, which stands for Application Programming Interface. The API is basically a language or a dictionary, set of instructions each piece of software provides that tells you how to communicate with it, to ask it for data, and how it's going to send that data back to you. With Zapier, if they don't have a pre-built action or zap for you to pull from that API, you have to be able to write your own or work with the tools to figure out how to pull it. Fivetran, for every tool that it has, it pulls the full data set from the API. Both Zapier and Fivetran use the API to pull the data out of the different systems. And they can both have as much access as needed. With Zapier, they have pre-built zaps, which are basically actions that let you pull certain data where all that code is written for you to pull from the API. Fivetran is similar, but instead of little zaps, they just pre-build everything needed to pull the whole set of data and then let you figure out what to do with it. In both cases, to get to all the data, there is some need to understand how data works, how to work with data, understand things like SQL queries, all that stuff. So getting your data all in one place does require working with someone or having a bit of expertise in that area. So the big question is, do you have someone like that in your organization? Is there someone you can work with? Maybe you could hire someone, wink, to help you with that information.